First up on the show, although the threat of an attack on Israel seems imminent, there is hope that some progress on the stalled ceasefire deal could delay the proposed retaliatory attack by Iran. However, several roadblocks remain. Now, the U.S. President Joe Biden believes a Gaza ceasefire deal this week could hold Iran back from direct offensive against Israel. Asked if a truce between Israel and Hamas could stave off an Iranian assault, Biden said that was his expectation. He added that while negotiations were getting hard, he was not giving up.
We'll see what Iran does, and we'll see what happens if there's any attack. But I'm not giving up.
Tied together. Do you have the understanding that Iran could cease or stop doing an action if a ceasefire deal was possible?
That's my expectation, but we'll see. Thank you.
Biden's comments came after the Iranian official said that a promised retaliatory strike could be delayed to allow talks to progress. Now, Hamas is widely expected not to participate in the talks either, to be held in Cairo or Doha. The U.S. State Department said on Tuesday that it was working to ensure that Hamas representatives attend the upcoming talks. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken postponed his trip to West Asia due to uncertainty about the situation. A report said the trip had never been officially announced. The White House, however, announced that Special Envoys Brett McGurk and Amos Hochstein would be in the region. McGurk will be traveling to Cairo and Doha, while Hochstein would be heading to Beirut. Now, leaving nothing to chance, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant visited an intelligence base in northern Israel, stressing to the soldiers that Israel is preparing all the possibilities in order to be able to attack wherever we decide.
We are in days of vigilance and preparedness. The threats from Tehran as well as Beirut may come to fruition. And it is important to explain to everyone that readiness, preparation and alertness are not synonymous for fear and panic.
As Israel remains on peak alert for retaliation from Iran, Hamas said it fired 2 M90 rockets at Tel Aviv. This was their first attack since May. The attack did not lead to any injuries or casualties. Meanwhile, Hezbollah says it has launched a series of strikes against sensitive Israeli military sites, targeting their technical and espionage equipment. The group also said it carried out a missile attack hitting troops around an Israeli military site near the settlement of Matat. All right, we're now being joined by Mohammed Samir Kheder, executive editor at Daily News Egypt and a political analyst as well. Mohammed Samir Kheder, thanks very much indeed for talking to WION. Now, this really is to many a last-ditch attempt to stop or stall a wider escalation. How far do you think this will go to stop any possible attack by Iran and bring Hamas to the negotiating table?
Good day to you. Thank you for having me. Well, the Iranian response is not only pending on the Gaza ceasefire talks, although they claim so. Iran has a lot to consider before launching an offensive on Israel. They may be saying that they will postpone their retaliation until the Gaza ceasefire talks bear fruit. However, probably Hamas will not be joining this round of talks, as they hinted earlier, because, as they said, they have already accepted the previous proposal, what's so-called Biden's proposal on July 2nd. So they don't feel that like this round of talks will have anything new to offer. Right. So when it comes to the expected talks in Doha on tomorrow, probably there will not be a delegation from Hamas. There will be delegation from all the mediators, including Egypt, Qatar, and the US. Israel also said that they will be attending. But Hamas has previously hinted, and some of our sources also confirmed this, that they will not be attending this round of talks for the same reasons I just explained to you, that they have already agreed to the previous proposal, and they expect a roadmap to implement such proposal.
Right. So that's an important point you're making, that you're saying that all indications are that Hamas is not, in fact, going to be attending these talks. And where does this negotiation stand, given that one party is not going to be attending this, and Iran has really placed, many sources believe, have said that they may stall their possible attack if there was to be some sort of ceasefire deal, some sort of negotiation that occurs?
Okay. As you have seen from the joint statement by the US president and the Egyptian president and the Qatari emir, the three mediators are trying to push the talks forward. I think it now all stands on the stance of Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, if he's going to accept the previous proposal pushed forward by President Biden on July 2nd regarding the two-phase ceasefire, the 3-month ceasefire at first, and release of hostages, then talks about a sustainable ceasefire in the future. I think if with diplomatic pressure, especially that the same plan is also supported by France, Germany, and the UK, if diplomatic pressure on the Israeli government made them accept, in principle at least, returning to this proposal, then Hamas will have no other choice but accepting,
right?
Since they have already announced their acceptance of this proposal, and that's the way forward to defuse the current tension in the region and preventing the conflict to escalate on a regional level.
Mm-hmm. Mr. K, the urgency of the talks certainly is being highlighted by this bridge proposal and this joint statement by all three mediators. But do you think in the last so many months enough has been done by regional players, by Egypt, by Qatar, as well as the West, to stall some of the civilian casualties that have happened, that have piled up in Gaza, and to have asked for more accountability from Israel as well?
Mm-hmm. When it comes to Egypt, stance has been clear since the start. Egypt finds what's happening now in Gaza is a humanitarian crisis that's being committed by Israel, because the high death toll within the civilian population in the Gaza Strip, and also the lack of aid, because Israel controls all the borders to the Strip now. Even the Rafah border with Egypt is now under Israeli control. So the flow of aid, only Israel can control it. So our stance in Egypt is clear. We need a ceasefire. We need it urgently. Israel has, as many say, the right to defend itself because of the attack. But that doesn't mean a green card that you can attack civilians. You can attack even refugees
right.
and schools. What's happening now in the Strip? I think especially the West and the US in particular can do more to bring all the parties to the table and put an end to this, to avoid a further escalation in the conflict.
Right.
When it comes to Iran, Egypt's stance also is that what's happening using Iranian proxies from Yemen, like the Houthis, Egypt
right.
have been against such attacks on naval ships and trade
right.
routes, of course.
Right.
And that has been...
Absolutely. Mohammed Samir Khader, thanks very much indeed for joining us and sharing your thoughts today.
Thank you. Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.